This your boy A-Pep Drake on your race 333. Today I'm gonna talk about mind control with blue, red and blue. Okay, so this is what the two colors do when they blend in together. Communication, caring, idealistic, authority, superstitious, self-righteousness, action. I don't know because the battery just popped up and says it's about to die, so I'm going to start over. Communication, caring, idealistic, authority, superstitious, self-righteousness, action, intent, attention, powerful, passionate, fearful, rebellious, violent, brutal, cold, time, compunation, warfare, and the dreamer, because you're dealing with the reptile brain and the pineal gland. It's also the good guy and bad guy program, choose a side, you shouldn't really fit in that program in the red and blue. But red and blues are also the colors of time and space. Red and blue. Dang, that was actually kind of quick, but that's what it does. It's the colors of time and space. Also, when you have those two colors together, it is also dealing with Saturn, because Saturn is associated with almost all the colors. And actually it is, because Saturn is the color wheel if you look at the hexagram. So Saturn basically has all the colors, but his main color is black. But red and blue can also be Saturn colors, and when you put them together, it becomes violet. And you got time. You know what I'm saying? Also, red and blue is dealing with male and female. The male is blue, and the red is on female. So red and blue are also colors of warfare, like I said. Just like what they had the Crips and the Bloods. They programmed them to fight one another. The history of the Crips and Bloods, if you look it up. They got the red and blue. Serranos and Norteños too, red and blue. That's programming. Just like I said, the blood hand sign is really the planet Mars, which is red, and the Crips throwing up the C, which is really not a C, is actually the planet Jupiter. If you look up my video called Occult Lectures on Jupiter, it shows you that in Jupiter it has royal blue. It has purple sometimes too, but it's mostly blue. And Mars rarely has green when you see the green with the Martians, like on TV. But it's mostly red. And some sets of Bloods wear green and some sets of Crips wear purple. But most of them just wear blue, the Crips, and most of them wear Bloods wear red. And you see the hell paintings. Like I said, it's also dealing with fear sometimes. Sometimes it's dealing with fear because blue has the superstition. Blue has superstition, and red sometimes has fear. So when you have superstition and fear, that's dealing with religion. That's how they got you scared in the church. That's why you saw the demon with the red and the blue. And red and blue repel each other. People think red and blue are opposites. No, the opposite of blue is orange. The opposite of red is green. So I'm letting y'all know that too. And red and blue, the reason they're across from each other, because those are the colors that repel each other. Just like purple, that's what they call violet. Violet and yellow repel each other. Yellow is dealing with the ego. Violet's dealing with purple, also known as violet, is dealing with the subconscious mind. Your ego is trying to keep you from being connected to your subconscious mind. It's keeping you from being connected to your subconscious mind. Even when you meditate, some people have a hard time meditating because that's their ego. Oh, I'm scared of meditating, or I gotta meditate for this point an hour. Don't worry about the clock when you meditate. Just don't. You know what I'm saying? You really should meditate when you don't have any time on you. And just let things go. Don't try to be like, oh, I want to meditate to contact an entity. Sometimes I'll be that way, but really, what I found that will really work with me is when I space out and just don't worry about contacting them, and they just come to me. And there you have, you guys, the planet Saturn right there, red and blue. The Democrats and the Republicans use red and blue. That's a form of programming. Like I said, they let you make the red be as the bad guy and the blue is the good guy. You know what I'm saying? But there is no good guy or bad guy. They all have the same branch. Just like another one, green and orange, they repel each other. Orange gets a lot of attention, green doesn't. Also, green is actually the original satanic color. You know what I'm saying? Or I should say sabbatic color, because there was no Satanists back then. You know what I'm saying? That was by Anton LaVey. They chose red and black, which is, they kind of made it, in my opinion, that they made a mistake with that colors, because those are serpentine reptilian colors. You know, green is dealing with more of the neocortex, or what you call the animal. You're also dealing with the animal brain too. It's also dealing with your nature. The sabbatic goat, also known as Saturnalian, there's a festival called Saturnalia. The Saturnalians wore green, and if you look up the original color of the quote-unquote what they call the devil, his color was green. You can research this too, but I'll get into that another time. So you got the red and the blue, so there you go. Red is reptile brain activation, and the blue is also the pineal gland. So that's a very powerful combination. You can master both natures. Even in the Civil War, where they had the South and the North, they had red. They had the red and they had the blue. That's why you see a lot of Civil War soldiers are in war and they trapped here, because they still think they're in the Civil War, but really they trapped in a time loop. Like I said, red and blue, they're dealing with time. Also forgot to mention that red adds up to 18. You know what I'm saying? 666. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with carbon too. And blue's dealing with melanin, and the red's dealing with melanin as well. Blue adds up to 13. Transformation. You know what I'm saying? But you add the 1 and the 3, that becomes a 4. Freedom and culture. That's why blue is associated with spirituality. It's also the color of spirituality. Red could be associated with spirituality as well. And blue and red can balance out the physical and the spiritual energies too. Red, I forgot, the 18 breaks it down to a 9, so that's dealing with reborn. So that's a form of transformation too. So the red and blue is also transformation. You know, the two numbers, born and freedom and culture. So they could be, red and blue could also be revolutionary colors too, because they both have confidence. And blue, you know, blue and red could be ruthless sometimes, because red can be more of a I don't give a fuck type of color, you know, that type of programming, and blue could be more cold-hearted. So it's like, but if you want to learn how to use red and blue, it's very useful. It draws in a lot of people, you know. Red and blue is basically, if you're trying to use Mindcontrol red and blue, you know, or try to make businesses, red and blue is basically good for competition. You know, like if you're trying to make a video game, or make a football team. Red and blue would be good to help you make money or whatever you need, you know what I'm saying? But red and blue, it's not even about the money, but you know what I'm saying, red and blue has a lot of fun, has a lot of competition. Red team, blue team, you see it in football, you see it on the news. It's mostly the color of competition. So, and the colors of time. Even when you commuting, if you get a red light bulb, it attracts spirits. Blue will attract spirits too. If you have red and blue together, red is to attract them, and blue is to communicate with them. And red and blue is also the colors of action, like I said. So, there you go. I'll see y'all later. It's also independent thinking. I forgot to tell you that too. The pineal gland and the reptile brain. They're both independent when you activate both of them. But they also could be submissive, because the reptile brain can be submissive if you force it. And the pineal gland, not the pineal gland, blue can be like drone. So red and blue can be like drone-like killers too. So there's different ways of doing that. I'll see y'all later. Red and blue.